If you know me, you know two things. I'm a huge Legend of Zelda fan, and I also do cosplay. And I've been trying to put together a male version of Zelda gender bend cosplay, and there's a couple of things that I am going to be creating in this video for it. So I'm going to be creating her crown, her chest piece, and also the piece that goes around the belt. So let me show you what my ideas are. So I have my Legend of Zelda Hyrule Historia book because I'm such a nerd. Alright, so here we have all the different Zeldas throughout the years. Now, I kind of don't want to do just like a specific version. I want to do more of a combination of most of them, not all of them. But I'm going more for the old-fashioned Zelda look. So what I have to create now is I gotta figure out something for the crown. There's the chest piece that goes between the shoulder pieces, and then some of the ornamental aspects that happen around the belt area on most of the Zelda design. So here's what I have. In order to make this, I got some Sculpey. I have original and firm. I got some sculpting tools. I got some other tools to use on the project. I went out to Joann Fabrics and I got some other stuff to aid me in the process. So I found these tassel earrings that I'm going to try to paint gold. If that doesn't work, I have these smaller tassel earrings, which I think they're a little bit too small, but they can get the job done. I found this plastic ruby gem thing, which is going to be probably at the center of the crown. I also found these other earrings that are also red, so that's probably going to be utilized around the belt or maybe around the shoulders. And I got some gold chains to kind of bring everything together. Let's go ahead and get started. So here we go, let's get started. So I have my jewel, I have some sculpting, and I have a armature wire frame that I made for the crown. And I'm going to start by rolling out some of the sculpting into a flatter chunk of sculpting that I'm going to go ahead and press in the jewel so I have an imprint and I know where the jewel is going to go. After I do that, I can remove the jewel and I can start getting the correct shape. So what I'm doing here is I'm cutting around the outer edges of this piece of sculpting at an angle to create more of a beveled shape that I can later smooth out with my fingers. Now for the sake of repetition, I'm only going to show you this one piece, but I made all the pieces the same way for the crown. To attach it to the wire, I'm carving out a little groove where the wire is going to sit in, and I'm placing a piece of sculpting around the back of the wire, making sure that there's enough room so that there's a little bit of give. I don't want for any of the pieces to break off because they're too tight in the wire, and whenever the crown is worn, I want to make sure that it can shape more to the person's forehead. Moving on to the centerpiece of the chest armor. Same process, grabbing some sculpting, rolling it out. Of course, this is a bigger piece, and I wanted the Zelda emblem to be on that armor piece. I found a wallet that I had a long time ago that has the Zelda emblem, and I push it into the sculpting and it worked great. We have a perfect recreation of the Zelda emblem without having to do too much work for it. Now I'm going around and cutting some sections of the sculpting out so that it closely resembles some of the armor that Zelda wears through the games. To attach the pieces to it, I'm grabbing some of my gold chain and I'm pressing it to the back, and just like I did for the crown, I'm placing a piece of sculpting around the back just to secure the piece of chain in place. Now this section is done and I'm ready to add more to the chest part. So I'm adding some circular armor pieces on either side of the main shape. Again, same step, rolling out the clay, and then I'm using this metal disc that I have and I'm going to cut around it so I get more of a circular shape. Now I don't want for it to be just a flat circle because it's a little boring, so I turn it around and there's a groove on this metal disc, and I'm going to press down and then it imprints the metal groove into our sculpting. I have 2 of those, and same process as before. Like I said, I'm trying to cut down the repetition, but there's still some repetition in the video. I'm going to go ahead and figure out how I'm going to attach the tassels. I like the bigger one better, so the little one I'm going to use for a different piece. And I go ahead and I cut a piece of the golden chain, and I'm going to attach that to the big tassel so that I can attach it to the round discs that I just made out of Sculpey. So same process, turn everything around on the back, pressing in the chain into the Sculpey so it can be securely placed in there, and it's going to keep us from having to glue anything for this section, and it's really going to make it so it's going to be almost impossible for these to break off. Now I'm grabbing the main piece and I'm going through and I'm attaching to the back. Now something that I forgot to mention before this, so that the middle piece wouldn't get disturbed, I boiled it. You are told by the box of Sculpey that you need to bake them, any piece of art you create with Sculpey, but you're also able to boil the pieces if you have a pot big enough for them to be boiled. The plus about boiling the Sculpey is the fact that it doesn't get any blisters or burns that could happen when you do it in the oven. The minuses is the fact that some of the shape could be disturbed while the water is boiling. So now I have everything attached just like I did the other parts, and this is ready to go into the boiling pot again. So now to paint, I have 3 different paints that I bought. I have some Speedball fabric paint, I have some Deco Art metal paint, and I have some brush and leaf metal paint that's supposed to mimic gold leafing. I did a little test to see which ones I liked. I didn't like the center one. I liked the Speedball and the brush and leaf. But in my opinion, anything metal looks better when there are different layers of colors and different layers of paint, because it creates some depth that metal usually has. And since I'm painting over some Sculpey that has some different tones and some gray tones, I kind of want to get rid of that. So I first started by using the Speedball because I felt like it had the better coverage of all the paints, and I had the most of that type of paint. My favorite paint was the leaf in paint that mimics gold leafing, but I don't have that much of it. So I go through the process of painting all the pieces with 3 layers of these paint. Now here are all the pieces I made. Like I said, some of the pieces I left out of the video just for repetition's sake. Now I'm going in with my favorite paint and I'm going around and I'm adding a dry brush layer on top. I feel like this is going to have more dimension to the pieces because it is not just one flat gold color, and this one has a little bit of a tone that matches some of the ornaments that I added to the individual pieces. Now I really like the way this looks. A lot of people, including myself in the past, will just go out and get some spray paint that was gold colored, but I feel like that color is overused and it doesn't give you the most gold looking results you can have out there. And to me, in my opinion, it tends to have things look a little bit like a grandmother's project. So I like going out and experimenting with some different colors. If you look at my gun prop video that I released a couple of weeks back, I use a couple of different colors. I'm doing the same here, and I think you can see in this video how it just changes the colors and how it gives it some variation. Now these are all the pieces now painted, and this is a little bit of a close-up as I'm finishing up. You can see how it looks more like gold than you would if you would just spray paint. So on the top I have all the chest pieces right here. Look how beautiful they look. I think the colors came out amazing. Here are belt pieces. This is the belt buckle piece, again very similar made than the other pieces. And lastly, here is the crown. All the pieces were made the same way as the center. Obviously I glued the jewel in, but as you can see here, there's a little bit of give. Like I said, it gives it enough play so when someone's wearing it, if they move around, I don't have to worry about the pieces actually breaking off. Overall, I'm pretty excited how everything came out. Let me know what you guys thought, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye. Thanks for watching my video. Make sure to like it, leave a comment below, and for more art related videos, go to my channel and subscribe.